On the day of today, oh well, tonight, we're going to do a live on how to find out what were you born for, how to find out your purpose in life, how to find out the secret of your to unlock the full potential of your destiny. So I guarantee you it's going to be a great life. We're going to learn a lot. And and yeah, you're going to learn a lot. So I invite you to get a pen and a paper because you are most likely going to be, if you're curious in the religion, you're going to want to take a lot of notes. You're going to want to take a lot of notes. So, you know, years I walked through the religion like a man, pushing against an invisible wind. And every decision felt heavy, you know, like most of all have at some point. Every opportunity, hold on, every opportunity slipped through my fingers. I blame my enemies. I blame the bad luck, even though being in the religion and even destiny itself. So never realizing destiny was inside me the whole time. So one night I exhausted my options and I was very frustrated. And I asked an elder, why does everything feels blocked for me? And he smiles and gently said, your feet move, but your ori is standing still. So, at the time I didn't understood how can my head, my own spirit, be the one blocking me. But he told me something that changed my life forever. He said, "You honor the world. You honor the world. You honor the orishas, but you have never learned how to honor the one orisha that is born with you, that lives with you, which is your ori, which is a representation of Obatala." And that night I sat alone in the dark for the first time, and I listened a little squeaky voice that said, not to the world, not to fear, but to myself, to my inner Ori, to my inner owner of destiny, which is Ori. And I realized that every bad choice that I had made come from rushing, reacting, or trying to be someone I was not, you know? And this is funny because I never fed this situation, I never fed it with discipline, I never respected with clarity, and never aligned it with it through honest intention, you know? So the next morning, something, how do you pronounce the word? I have a sabro, sabro. Hold up. Let me see, how do I pronounce this word?
Shadow.
So the next morning I subtle and powerfully, something powerful shifted. And I didn't feel lucky anymore. I felt aligned. Ideas started flowing, uh, peace grew. People who once resisted me suddenly cooperated, and doors started to open. Not because the world changed, but because I did. So that was the day I learned that when you walk with your Ori, you walk alone. But when you when you walk without your ori, you walk alone. I'm sorry, but when you walk with your ori, the universe walks with you. And ever since, I don't move until my ori agrees. Now, this is something very, very important because today I want to speak to you about the power that we have to change everything around us. How do we have the power of, we have a great deal of power of developing, modify, and shift everything around us with just our ori. You know, sometimes we don't need chickens, we don't need hens, we don't need a lot of things that they tell us. You know, statistically, human beings, we're being lied to from 10 to 200 times a day. So statistics says that we are lied to almost 200 times a day. And this is a life where I'm going to be completely honest with you. You know, in Yoruba cosmology, Ori isn't just the head, it's your inner essence, it's your soul, your spiritual core. Ori holds your destiny and it carries the blueprint of your life path chosen before you were born. So think of it this way. There's your physical head, which is called Oriode, and then your inner head, which is called Orinu. That's the inner head. That's the invisible force driving you, driving your character, your choices, your reactions, and ultimately your fate. Now, here's the let me tie in this chair. So here's the thing. Destiny isn't a prison. You know, you still have free will. You can work with your Ori or fight against your Ori. When you're aligned with your Ori, your life just flows. You go to work every day and you don't feel like you're working because you do what you love. When you're not aligned with your Ori, constant problems, blockages, things just not working out. And you know, the mind is interesting because the mind has three layers. Guys, if you can just hit that thumbs up, if you give me a like here on YouTube, on TikTok, if you can share the live, we can reach out to the English community speaking. Si le pueden dar un like y compartirlo, se los voy a agradecer. You know, there's a lot of people that need this content. There's a lot of people in depression. There's a lot of people that they have a lot of commotion in their life right now, and not a lot of people have $100 for a cleaning, $200 for a reading. You know, so the first thing when we're going to speak about Ori, we need to understand the mind. The mind has three layers. The Odun Odimeji, Ashamaruma Kodimi Kudima Arumo Foyaraye Kudima Yokudima Saroya Mama Yoko de Yokin Lele. Odimeji teaches that the mind has three layers, which is the conscious, the pre-conscious, and the unconscious. So psychologically, I'm sorry, in psychology, it says the same thing. Your conscious mind is what you are aware of right now. You know, these words, this life, your thoughts. You thinking this guy's English accent is horrible, but I'm still interested in what he has to say. That's your conscious mind. Your pre-conscious mind holds things you're not thinking about, but can easily recall. like your phone number, you're not thinking about your phone number right now, but if I ask you your phone number, you will know your phone number. You're not thinking about it until someone asks you. That's your preconscious mind. Then we have the unconscious mind, the deep stuff. We have the deep stuff, unconscious. That's where old wounds, hidden fears, unresolved conflicts stays, but we are not aware of it. But it still influences on how you behave, you know. And this has to do with desire and destiny. In Osameji, in the Dilogun, in Ifa, it speaks in Osautura. We learn that the desire, that desire itself is an attribute of Olodumare, expressed through Ori. You flow speaking, so don't worry. Yeah, I don't know about all that, but thank you for being so nice, Claudia. So Olodumare expresses himself or herself, for that matter, through your Ori. What we think, when it's in a good way, when we think in a good way, when we think positive things, Olodumare is manifesting himself through our Ori. Because a molecule, let me see, how can I pronounce this word? I don't know how to pronounce this word. I'm being a little brave over here, guys. I'm not making a fool of myself because I don't know. Molecule. Molecule. Okay. A molecule of Olodumare lives inside us. So thank you once upon a time, and I guarantee you're gonna love this video and send it to your friends, because if they're if they have problems, if they're depressed, whatever they're going through, this video is gonna bump them up. Ori does not accept every desire blindly. When your desires align with your spiritual purpose, they are called Oridaba. Oridaba. What is Oridaba? Is the desire of our Ori, of what we like, of what we want. And when that alignment happens, those desires manifest more easily. So here's what this is really about, guys. Learning how to align your Ori and refine your behavior in your social life, your family, your spiritual practice, and you feed that with knowledge, studying. This book that I have here, it's called The Power of Ori. It's my book number 40th. By the way, guys, I'm an author. I have written 47 books, 49, 47 books, and all of my books are available, and I have 7 schools available for you at www.davidalagayu.com, which is my official website. I have readings available at distance. Now in this 2026, we need our New Year's beginning of the year reading, so you can visit my website and you can separate your space and get a reading there with me. We are combining wisdom from the Oduns with psychology, neurology, philosophy. And why is this? To align your Ori, you need to be able to combine Oduns of Dilogun, Oduns of Ifa with psychology, because the Oduns are psychology, the Patakis are psychology. And I'm not a psychologist. I'm a high priest, I'm an author, I'm a professor, I'm an Oba Oriaté, and a Tata, and a spiritist, the whole 9 yards. But I like to learn a lot about psychology, because the religion is spiritual psychology and physical psychology. So you have practical tools you can actually use in this life. But first, we need to understand how the mind and brain works. You have to learn how to crawl before you can run. Conscious and character. Consciousness and character. In Ayaun Lemeyi, Giobe, in Dilogun, it says that there's no greater reality than the image of my consciousness. You know, consciousness is the reflection of Olodumare inside us. That is consciousness. And from that consciousness comes Iwa, which is the divine energy of character. You know? And here's the key. The best offering you can ever make in life to the Orisha to feed our Ashe, the best offering is good conduct. Good conduct. Without good character, no ceremony, no initiation, no spiritual power can bring you more blessings than simply being a good person. You know what I'm saying? And what makes someone free? Because in order to be a good person, you need to have your own thinking, your own personality. You need to be free. A free person speaks their own thoughts. They don't let anyone violate their principles. They're not enslaved by dogma, manipulation, or vices. The key to grow personal and spiritually is learning how to learn. When we learn how to learn, you know, most people don't realize how much power they have to be intelligent. They think it's something that you're born with. They think you're born being a medium. They think you're born being a spiritist. They think you're born being a wise person. But no one is born with nothing. We're just born with our Ori, with our inner safe. You know, we have a solid safe. And as we go through in life, what we open, thank you, my mom, I love you. When we open that safe to insert and put inside that safe, what we decide to put inside the safe, then that's what's going to make us down the line. We decide to put in the safe, many blessings, my Hada Sonia. We decide to put in the safe that we're born with, that the safe is born empty. Spiritually, it's born empty. We decide to feed it with good, to feed it with Ashe, or we decide to feed it with Buruku. So we decide to feed it with good things or with bad things. That's why it's good to understand temperament versus character. Let me see if I'm spelling this word correctly. If I'm pronouncing this word correctly. Temperament. I can spell it perfectly fine, but the pronunciation is very difficult for me. Temperament. So I like your school. You teach good. Thank you very much, Karina. So temperament versus character. Okay, let's talk about this right quick because this is key in the religion. Temperament. What is temperament? You know, temperament is what you inherit. It's what comes in your blood. That's temperament. What you inherit from your people, what you inherit in your bloodline, what you inherit from your father, your mother, that's temperament. Character is what you develop. And listen to this. This is powerful. A person who explodes in anger all the time does not have a strong character. They just have a strong temperament, but they have a weak character. You know, someone who controls their reactions to the actions of other people, that's the person that has a strong character. If you don't know how to deal with your emotions, you have a very weak character. You have a strong temperament. which is not something to be proud of, because temperament, in weak temperament, makes the Ache soft. Temperament makes the Ache go away. Character is what feeds our Ache. And here's something powerful. Asking for forgiveness costs you nothing. Saying I'm sorry is completely free. And it feeds our Ache. So yes, Diana, thank you very much. Indeed. Temperament drains your Ache. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you very much. And guys, you guys, if you guys want to help me when I get stuck, that would be awesome. Diana, if you can follow me on YouTube, that would be great, because in January I'm gonna stop streaming from TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, and I'm gonna do only YouTube. 500% of my time to YouTube, because I want to get to the 1,000,000 followers. Not because I want to be known, but because I want to help more people. And YouTube is more expandable. My YouTube channel is David Aggayu. So when you accept your mistakes, problems become easier to solve. There's no way that you are going to learn a lot and read a lot of books if you keep saying that you're wise, that you have a lot of knowledge. You have to accept that you don't have knowledge, and that you need more knowledge in order to open a book and read. I love to smell books. There's no way you're gonna quit smoking if you know that if you accept that cigarette is doing bad for you. There's no way you're gonna be in good terms with your significant other or your family if you don't accept that you are being the problem. And whether you're right or you're wrong, by you becoming a part of a fight, of a disagreement, it's still your fault, because you were part of the disagreement. You can be right or wrong, it's still your fault. I mean, in a disagreement of two loved ones, nobody wins. It's just our eager of wanting to be right all the time. That drains your Ache. Your brain and learning, you're in my book, The Power of Ori. In this book, The Power of Ori, which it's about one of the best books that I have written in my life, I speak about how our brain has about 100 million neurons. Neurons. I don't know how to pronounce neurons. Neurons. Okay. Why is the internet slow? Okay, now I don't know what's wrong with this, so I guess I'll go ahead. Let me see how you. What? No. I don't know when it went. Google Translate. I need to do Google Translate to know how to pronounce this word.
Neurons.
Neurons. Okay. Neurons, I guess. Neurons. It just sounds so weird. So we have about 100 million neurons. 100 billion neurons. And it's constantly, these neurons are constantly reorganizing itself. Thank you, Cindy. Our neurons, 100 billion neurons. Sometimes I can even get my room organized that has 10 things. Imagine 100 billion neurons constantly reorganizing itself, readapting, constantly changing. And you go to bed with one brain and wake up with a slightly different one. And this is scientifically proven, guys. So here's something crucial. Sleep is when your brain cleans itself. During sleep, it removes toxins, organizes memories, and strengthens what you have learned. That's why lack of sleep destroys your ability to think clearly. So, you know, I'm preaching this to myself because preaching this to the preacher because I barely sleep. But I feed my shed through another way, other secrets, ceremonies, prayers. I do that, orikis, ebos that I do. Reading a lot helps me. The learning pyramid tells us that we retain about 5% of what we hear in lecture, but 90% of what we teach others. So if you really want to learn something, explain it to someone else. That's why I love to have 7 schools, because it's just so much knowledge to learn, and I read, and it came to a point in my life where I said, definitely I have to transmit this that I learning. If not, I'm going to eventually forget it all. So aligning with your Ori, let's get to the heart of this. Many people think aligning your Ori means more initiations, more orishas, more ceremonies, but that's not it. Aligning is about harmony with your true nature. It's a series of exercises, disciplines, and behavior pattern that bring you in tune with your divine self. When you're aligned, you gain confidence, you lose fear, you lose anxiety. I think you say anxiety. Anxiety, you lose anxiety, you lose depression. When you're aligned with your Ori, you don't meet depression. The negative patterns that block your path starts falling away. And this has to do with Egbeorum. Egbenitiko belorum, kiakuko bewalalaye, beni okofori, akofori baye, Egbeorum. Egbeorum, what does Egbe means? Egbe means companions. So we have Egbeaye, our earthly companions, and we have Egbeorum, our heavenly companions. Every living being has a spiritual double in heaven, which is called an Ikeji. Egbeorum is not your spiritual double. Egbeorum is your spiritual family. That's Egbeorum. And Ikeji is your double in heaven, your double spiritual in heaven. And here's what people don't understand. We're not the body that we think we are. We're not the body that we think we are. We are Eda. That's why it's called Ashe Eda. You ever heard of Asheda? Asheda, Akoda, Eleda, Imoda. So Eda, we are Eda. What does Eda means? Eda means spiritual beings. When the breath of Olodumare enters the body, a spiritual being is formed. We live as spirits inside a body. And what causes misalignment? Well, Ori doesn't abandon us. We fail because of the consequences of our own decisions. The main cause of misalignment, guys, is the inability to master your mind. When we fail to master our mind, if we do not control our mind, it controls us. If you don't control your mind, it's going to control you. Your mind creates a false self based on past pain, not present truth. And that false self takes you further from the path your Ori shows for you in heaven. But in order to understand all this, we need to understand the nature of Ori. When you understand Ori's nature, you navigate life better because Ori is not competitive. Ori is not competitive. Ori creates. Ori, Ori is not jealous. Ori doesn't envy. It celebrates. Ori does not impose. It respects freedom. When you impose, blessings, Tatan Doggy, when you impose something into someone else, that means you want to enslave, I'm sorry, that person. And that goes against Ori will. When you see a person that wants to be competitive, that goes against Ori. That person is not aligned with Ori. A person that is jealous, that goes against your Ori alignment. You're not aligned with Ori. You know, you ever seen a man that is jealous, obsessively jealous? And sometimes we'll tell them, oh, you're insecure. Well, furthermore, for being insecure, that means you're very misaligned. You're not aligned at all with your Ori. You know, Ori is kind. Ori is peaceful. It's humble. Ori never gives up because it knows that there's time for everything. Ori knows that if you cannot do something right now, you're not going to get depressed. You're not going to get mad because you're going to be able to do it down the line. And if you're constantly in conflict, fighting, arguing, you're very misaligned. So what do we have to do? We just got to surrender to Ori. We have to surrender. You just got to, like the movie, I don't know what comedian said, just let it happen. I think Chris Tucker said, let it happen. Just let it happen. Just let it happen. You can't be fighting against something that is not fightable, or is not fightable. Ori chooses destiny for you. You don't choose the destiny for your Ori. When you start choosing a destiny for your Ori, it completely misaligns everything in your life. In Obesa, in Dilogun, humility is learned to better understand others. That's right, Janet. That's right, Gene. A good character, a focused mindset can take you many places. That is right. That is right, my brother. Obesa in Dilogun and Ifa states in Obeate. It says, surrender to your Ori so you may know peace. What stops people from surrendering, it's fear. Fear. Fear is a false emotion created by the mindset. Created by the mind. I'm sorry. When it wants control. When the mind wants controls, when the mind wants control of your Ori, that's where fear starts to happen. But when you realize the mind cannot be above Ori, fear loses power. The mind is the bridge between blessings and misfortune. Every decision passes through it. And if you control your mind, guys, you're going to be able to create changes you never imagined. And what is the key here? The key is discipline. To align with your Ori, we need to practice discipline. Practice true humility. Obbe Ogunda teaches that humility is the queen of all virtues. But here's the thing. Whoever claims to be humble isn't. So humility is spoken. Humility is lived. Humility is expressed through our behavior pattern. You don't say you're humble. You don't speak out, humbleness. You express it through your action. We have to accept changes. We have to accept changes without complaining. Irosomeji teaches that if we only taste sweetness, never bitterness, we get tired of life. That's Irosomeji. Iroso con ton wabo wani oko babakola ni abache. Be honest with yourself. A liar has no peace of mind. A liar cannot be never aligned with Ori. A liar will never be successful. A liar will never have a shit. If I tell myself, you're going to be a good engineering, apply for an engineering job. Indeed, Jin Chango. I'm going to apply for engineering. First of all, I'm not even going to get hired because they're going to ask me a question about engineering that I don't know about. Second of all, I'm going to make a fool of myself when I go to the interview. They're going to start asking me in engineering terms that I have never studied. Because why? Because I wanted to lie to myself. A liar has no peace of mind. Flee from anything that delays you, destroys you. People that wants to stop you from you doing you or stops you from fulfilling your purpose. But in order to understand all this, you need to truly understand Ori alignment. We need to understand all its components in Yoruba spiritual, how do you call that word? Anatomy. Ori is not just one thing. Ori, it's a complete system with multiple parts, each serving a specific spiritual function in your life. So let me break it down this for you. Thank you, Doris. Blessings. Ori is the totality. I'm sorry. Ori is the totality. Ori, in its complete sense, is the totality of your spiritual identity, and it encompasses. I got stuck. Encompasses. I gotta put my man. Thank you, Gian's blessings. Love to you too, brother. Encompasses. It encompasses everything about who you are. Has your spiritual being, your destiny, your consciousness, your consciousness, your character, your potential. But Ori is also considered a personal Orisha, a personal God. You know, unlike other Orishas that are shared among many devotees. Your Ori is yours alone. That's why there's people that are not involved in the religion and they're very successful. That's why there's white people that they're not involved in the religion, like gringo, and they're very successful. That's why we have African American, black colored people that are not involved in the religion and they're very successful. Hell, that's why we have Indians, Hindus, Muslims, a lot of people that are not involved in the religion. If you're involved in the religion, the schools are getting better every day and new circles are starting. Don't miss out. Enroll now. Yes, guys, enroll now in the schools. You can enroll at david@aggayú.com. Religion, it's the bridge. It's the spiritual bridge that feeds our emotional part of us, and it gives us a better tomorrow, a better faith. But religion does not have to do with success. Yes. Sorry to burst your bubble. The fact that you crown Osha, the fact that you got scratched, the fact that you did Ifa, the fact that you are an Olorisha or an Oba Oriaté or an Engangulero or a spiritist, that does not have to do with being successful. That is not going to make you successful. What's going to make you successful is listening to the advices of the divinities, of the deities, of the gods, of the orishas, of the spirits, of whichever entity you're listening and you want to use it as a staff. We use religion as an emotional and a spiritual staff para apoyarnos, so we can lean on something, because that's just a human being. That's how we are created. We need to believe in something. But just believing is not going to put the crown, it's not going to make our crown shine, or just believing is not going to give us a success. It is the Orisha that chooses your destiny before you, which is Ori, which is owned by Obatala. It is your Ori. So in other words, it's Obatala, which is the most important and upscale and sublime, the sublime. I don't know how to say sublime. It's the highest of all, Obatala.
Sublime.
Sublime. No, man, this is Romanian. The hell?
Sublime.
Sublime. There you go. I said it right. I just thought it sounded weird, like some type of lime juice or something like that. Sublime. So it is the Orisha that chooses your destiny before you. In Obe Osa, it says, Ori enini ba ebe orishani itimbe atilejin. It says this means it is one's Ori that supports them. The Orisha only gives backing. So Orisha, this tells us that something, something deep, profound. Even the Orishas cannot help someone whose Ori does not accept that help. Ori comes first. If you don't accept the help, the only living book of the religion with solid knowledge. You're so nice, Mayahada. So Ori, there's nothing any Orisha can give you if your Ori does not accept it. And then we have Ori Inu, the inner head. I'm sorry. Ori Inu. Ori Inu is your inner head. It's the invisible spiritual essence of who you are. It is the seat of your destiny, is your intuition and your connection with Olodumare. That's your Ori Inu. So while many think Ori Inu resides in the physical head, traditional teachings says Ori Inu actually dwells in the area of the solar plexus and navel. Why? Because for 10 months in the womb, and yes, I said 10 months because we spent 10 months in our mother's womb. No, only cuts. You don't have to be initiated to be part of my schools. You can, I have 7 different schools, and you can read the description of each school. No tienes que estar iniciado. You can, there's many non-initiated, there's many alegos in the schools. Blessings, Vanessa. Blessings, Maritza. So, for months and months in the womb of our mother, we receive life through the umbilical cord. That connection point is the navel. It's considered the original head of our existence. Thank you, mijo. That original head of our existence, which is the umbilical cord, that is Ori Inu. Ori Inu lives here, in the umbilical, not in here. And this is why we feel strong emotions in our stomach before our brain processed emotions. Our umbilical cord feels them. We feel fear, we feel excitement, we feel danger. We feel them in the gut first. The gut is that's Ori Inu, That's Ori Inu communicating. I remember the first time I kissed my wife, and a little butterfly. That's your Ori Inu. When you feel butterflies in your stomach. Give a shout out to my wife, Reina. She's supporting me right now. Babe, I love you. I wish you've been doing this. Or I wish you can be talking through me. Technology needs to advance. So I can talk and my wife can, that'll be nice, huh? But hey, sometimes you gotta do things yourself. So you gotta get out of your comfort zone. If we don't get out of our comfort zone, we're never gonna reach those hearts and souls that we want to. So Oriinu contains Ayamo. Ayangmo is your fixed destiny. Ayangmo is your fixed destiny. It's the things that you cannot change, like the color of your skin, unless you want to do what Michael Jackson did, and we saw how that turned out. Oye, Kumai says, who told you that you speak English? Well, I don't speak English good, but I think what I'm speaking right now is English, Oyekun. So yeah, Ayang Mo, your fixed destiny is the things that you cannot change. What we cannot change our skin color. Thank you, Indoki. Thank you, Tata. We cannot change our date of birth. We cannot change our parents. That cannot be changed. Thank you, Gina. It'll get better in a couple of months, I promise. So there's a lot of things you can't change. You can't change a couple of things you can change, that's your ayangmo. We choose up in heaven 4 stages in life. Ayangmo, akun le ba, akun le yang, and something else that a lot of people don't speak about. Adajeba. Adajeba. We choose 4 things up in heaven. Adajeba, akun le yang, akun le ba, and ayamo. Ayamo, the things you cannot change. Akun le ba is the destiny you choose while you are kneeling before Olodumare. That's Akun Legba. Akun Leyang is the requests you made while you are kneel. So Akun Leyang is what I asked for, and Akun Legba is what I choose. There's a difference between asking and choosing. And lastly, Adajeba is the circumstances of your birth and life conditions. How are you going to born? If you're going to have a spirit of Abiku, Ahi, Bi, who's born, Ku from Iku, to die. Abiku. Blessings, Ifa Be Mileke, Ifa Togun. So Osameyi says, Ori inumi, amanje fo, si ole bobo. Boni woni gose osi beborubo orinisandu baboriowo orinisambo ba orinu. It says my inner head do not let me carry sacrifice with the left hand. This prayer acknowledges that Orinu is the true guide, and it knows what is correct and what will lead to success or failure. Oriode. Now, this second stage of Oriode is the outer head. The outer head. Oriode is your physical head. The visible, the tangible part that houses your brain. It is the material manifestation of Ori. This is Oriode. While Orinu holds destiny, Oriode executes it. The physical head contains the organs that allows us to perceive the world, make decisions, and take actions. That's Oriode. Oriode allows, Orinu executes. Oriode is the skull that protects the brain. Oriode is the sensory organs, the house of the sensory organs. The eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth. It's where the physical brain is that processes information. But here's the key. Oriode must be in harmony with Oriinu. When the outer head acts against the inner head, when the outer head acts against the inner head wisdom, problems arise. We start to see problems. You know, this is why we see intelligent people making terrible decisions, because their oriode, their intelligent part, oriode, overrides their orinu, which is the intuition and destiny. And Ejioko Meiji in the Rindilogun, Ejioko Meiji, which is the 22, it says, Orio de lo bon orinu lomo, the outer head hears, but the inner head knows. The outer head hears, but the inner head knows. And it says the Osha is invented religion created in the empire of Oyo. The real power comes from El Muerto. The dead aren't obligated. I'm going to put it in line. Andy, I think you need to read a little bit more on history, anthropology, and ethnology. So this means your physical senses receive information, but true understanding comes from within. Then we have Atari, the crown of the head. Atari, Atari refers specifically to the crown of the head, the fontanelle area at the top of the skull. This is Atari, la mollera. This is Atari, This is considered the most sacred part of the physical head. And in newborns, the Atari is not, I'm sorry, in newborns, Atari is soft because the skull hasn't fully closed. So in traditional wisdom, African Yoruba Lukumi says that this is because the spirit is still adjusting to his body, to his new body, which is possessed by spirit. And the Atari remains open to receive spiritual energy from Ikole Oru, the heavenly realm. That's why it is the best time for a person's life to crown Orisha, to get initiated into Orisha or Palo. Blessings, Obatala. Un fuerte abrazo. The best time in life of the person is when the person is newborn, because when the baby is newborn, the Orisha will go in faster because the person's body spirit is more sensible. Atari is where Ipori resides. Atari, I repeat, Atari is where Impori resides. What is Impori? The spiritual essence placed by Obatala. The most important upscale elder and most respected Orisha exists on planet Earth, and Orun for that matter. Blessings enter the body, connection to Olodumare is maintained. The Orisha Alagbatori, elder, the Orisha Alagbatori means elder of the head. The Orisha Alagbatori dwells. When someone is initiated or receives spiritual blessings, the Atari is often the point of contact. Prayers, offerings, and ashe are directed to this area because it is the gateway between physical and spiritual realm. And in fact, it tells this in Otrupo Meji. There's a teaching that says, Atari omotuntungo bosi oru, adiafun oru ni koloshe. The crown of the newborn is the pathway back to heaven. Guys, And it's this reminds us that we never fully lose our connection to our spiritual origin. And it's how do you say que pena? It's a shame that there's very few people connected when I do English lives. I have over 1 million people all across, 1 million followers all across social medias, but 98% of my followers are Spanish followers. I have very little few followers, English followers. And it's sad that, or it's a shame that English speaking followers does not share this knowledge to other English speaking followers. Because when you understand the concept of Ori, you will not meet depression. You will not be mad. It's going to be very difficult for you to get mad when you're aligned with your Ori. It's very extremely difficult. You can get sad for a moment, for a minute, but sad is one thing, and depressed, it's another thing completely. So, Atari Inu, Atari Inu, the inner crown. One thing is Atari, and the other thing is Atari Inu. Atari Inu is the spiritual counterpart of the physical crown. It's the spiritual counterpart of the physical crown. While Atari is the visible crown, what you see here, Atari Inu means inner. Inu means inside. Atari Inu is the invisible spiritual center that exists in the same location, but on a different plane. Think of it like this. If your body has chakras or energy center, Atari Inu will be the highest one, will be the crown center that connects you directly to divine consciousness. Atari Inu is where divine inspiration enters. Atari Inu is where spiritual visions are received. It's where connection to Egbe Orun is maintained. It's where the third eye or spiritual sight operates. So when someone develops their Atari Inu through spiritual practice, they gain clearer, 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 clearer. 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 They gain clearer intuition, prophetic dreams, ability to sense spiritual energies, and deeper connection to their destiny. So Atari lives here, Atari Inu lives here, what other people call third eye. You see where I'm going? In Ojeku Meiji teaches Atari Inu Lomo Unti Oju Oriomo. The inner crown knows what the eyes cannot see. The inner crown knows what the eyes cannot see. And then that takes us to Opolo. Opolo, the reason I'm explaining all the parts of Ori, Willie says, many blessings to you and your family. The fact that you're doing this live in English speaks volume and shows your humility. Thank you very much for your nice words, Willie. You're so nice. The reason I need to explain to you how Ori breaks down into the different spiritualities is because if I tell you how to align your Ori, just do this, and that, but you don't know what is Ori made of, we will be doing nothing. It's like you're married with your beautiful wife, because she looks pretty, but you don't know what she has inside. So it's going to be a short marriage. So I rather teach you how to fish than to give you a fish. Yes, you're doing so well. Blessings of long life, David's blessings. Additional all the times. Thank you very much, Jin Chango. I very much. It means a lot to me. You guys support means more than. So next we have Opolo. What is Opolo? Thank you, Dada. Opolo is the physical brain. Opolo is the physical brain, is the biological organ inside the skull. You know, the brain, la masa cefálica, the brain. That is Opolo. In Yoruba spiritual understanding, in Yoruba spirituality, Opolo is the tool that Ori Inu uses to operate in the physical world. The brain is not the source of consciousness. The brain is the processor of consciousness. Let me say this again. The brain is not the source of consciousness. The brain is the processor of consciousness. Just as a computer processor executes program but doesn't create them, the Opolo, the brain, executes the commands and wisdom of Ori, Inu, but doesn't originate them. Opolo is responsible for logical thinking, which is called Ironu, logical thinking. Something is not too logical to have these days. 90% of human being, if your lack of study, if your lack of reading, if your lack of spirituality, if your lack of realignment, you're going to be lack of logical, just logical sense. It's common sense. That's called Ironu. Then we have Opolo, also do memory. Memory is called Iranti. Language and communications, motor functions, sensory processing. So when Opolo, which is the brain, is healthy and clear, it can actually accurately receive and execute the guidance of Ori Inu. But when it is clouded by substances, when Opolo is clouded by substances like trauma, illness, mental imbalance, drugs, alcohol, the communications between Orinu and Oriode and Atari and Opolo becomes completely distorted. Distorted. Distorsionado. Distorted. This is why the Yoruba tradition emphasizes clean living, avoiding substances that clouds the mind, mental discipline, proper rest and nutrition, stop being around toxic people. The school's payment are monthly. No, every 2 weeks, that's Latin American. My boy, my friend, that's Latin America. No, it's monthly. Some schools are 70, some schools are 80, some of them are 90, some of them a little bit more, some of them a little bit less. It depends on the schools. And we give 12 classes a month, 3 classes a week. All classes are given in Spanish and English because I have a live translator. And all classes stays in a cloud, and you can download them later on, or you can watch them later on if you're working. So in Osao Gunda, we find Opolotomoto Barinuto Bobasoro. It says, Ori speaks to a clean brain. Ori speaks to a clean brain. Guys, if we do not have a clean brain, our Ori will not speak. Who's going to be speaking is going to be Eshu Paco, which takes us to the next explanation. And if you want to, how do you say duel? So proud, breaking ice, for sure. Highly recommend and learn self-forward. This book, if you want to go deep into the subject, the power of Ori duels. Yes, thank you very much, Tata. 221 pages, guys. Hell of a book. So let's talk about Eshu Paco. What does Eshu Paco is? Eshu Paco. What does the word Eshu Paco means? A lot of Afro-Cubans, Lukumi tradition, Lukumi, madrinas and padrinos, godmothers, godfathers, they'd be like, oh, that's where the Obi Egun, and that's where Egun lives. And when they give Obi to Ori in interrogation, they say Obi Ori. And when they give Obi to Eshu Paco, they'll be saying Obi Egun. This is completely misguided. Jeannie Chango says, yes, because it's the addiction that takes over. I got it. Was an amazing read. Yes. So Eshu Paco is the guardian at the door. The guardian at the door. Para los que están en la directa, regálame un like, aunque no entiendan nada, por favor, una manito, little thumbs up, un like. So now we come to a concept many don't discuss. A lot of people don't talk about Eshu Paco. Eshu Paco is in a specific aspect or emanation of Eshu that resides at the back of our head, at the base of the skull where it meets the neck. Some traditions call this area Ipaco. But it's not literally that Eshu lives in there. It's in a spiritual part of Eshu that lives in there. Eshu Ipaco means Eshu do not cut. Do not cut off. Eshu do not cut off. When it says Eshu do not cut off, it means the head. By meaning Eshu do not cut my head. Because Eshu Paco is what maintains the balance between heaven, which represents our head represents heaven, and earth represents our body. And this Eshu Paco serves as a guardian and messenger between your Ori, which comes, the decisions from Ori comes from heaven, Oru, and earthly decisions, which comes spiritual standpoint. Yes. So every thought, every message, every spiritual communications must pass through Eshu Paco. What is the function of Eshu Paco? Well, the function of Eshu Paco is to be a gatekeeper that controls what enters and exits your consciousness, to be a protector that guards against negative spiritual influences, to be a messenger that carries your prayers and desires to the Orishas, and to be a transformer that converts spiritual energy into actionable thoughts. So this is why Eshu Paco is always propagated first in any ceremony. Eshu. So Eshu Paco, if Eshu Paco is not at peace, the messages between you and the Orishas become, how do I say that? A scramble. Your prayers, you and the Orishas become scrambled. Your prayers don't reach their destination clearly, and the blessings trying to reach you, they get blocked. And Ogunda Meiji says this. Ogunda Meiji says, Eshu Paco maje oro buruku wo inumomu, Eshu Paco maje iro nu buburu nu miwa, balona ni baro nu miwa. He says, Eshu Paco, do not let bad words enter me. Eshu Paco, don't let negative thoughts take the path into my Ori. So when Eshupako is aligned, your thoughts are clear, your intuition is accurate, your communication with the spirits it's open, even your communication in the spiritism will be wider, and your decisions lead lead to good outcomes. When Eshupako is disturbed, confusion reigns, bad ideas seems like good ideas, you make impulsive decisions, spiritual communication is blocked. So Eshupako, it's good, it's not bad. Maybe because of the reason that we have thought about many years that Eshupako is bad and we don't appease and give any offerings to Eshupako, that's the reason maybe that's the main reason why we have been making bad choices. And this takes us to the next point in the life. Iping, what is Iping? It says, Eleri Iping. What is Iping? Iping means the portion of destiny. Iping. Iping is the portion. Iping is the portion of destiny, which is another crucial component. Iping, your portion or share of destiny. When you were in heaven before birth, you receive your Iping from Ayala, the potter who molds the heads. Ayala, it's a path of Obatala. Ayala, it is Obatala himself. Ayala is Obatala. People been wanting to desacreditar. How do you say desacreditar? Obatala, bendición, Coco. Coco, share the English lives with your friends, bro. I'm gonna be doing English live every day. I noticed something in this life. Thank you very much, Marisa. Thank you. Discredit. Thank you very much, Marisa, for your support. Thank you very much, guys. So, people with all this Ifa going on and Orumila, and it's not bad, I mean, Maferafun Orula, Ifa, and it's all right. But what's not all right, it's for you to take all the credit of Obatala and give it to Orumila. Obatala is the real Eleri Ipin, which is the witness of destiny. Ipin does not mean creation. Orumila did not witness any creation, guys. So get that through your head already. We're in 2025. There's millions of books you can read about that. My book, I have a book that is called Obatala, el testigo de la creación. Obatala, the real witness of creation. Unfortunately, right now, that book is only available in Spanish, but soon it will be available in English, probably by January or February 2026. But your Ipin, it's given to you by Ayala, which is the potter who molds heads. Your Ipin includes your lifespan, your potential for wealth, your capacity for wisdom. I used to say capacity. Now I'm saying capacity. You see, I'm getting little by little. Your relationships and children's, your challenges and tests. And Iretemeyu, we learn, Ipin kokan lo tokokan. Each person portion follows each person. That's why at the end of the day, we're all connected. This means, that's why I hate to see racism in people. It annoys the hell out of me when someone's racist. Because when we speak about racism, we think only black people suffer from that. No, I see white people being racist with their own white race. It's crazy, right? That, like, what the fuck, dude? How you gonna be racist to your own white people? Yeah, man, it's crazy these days. Latin people being racist with their own Latin people, it's just, thank you very much, Michael. Blessings. It's crazy, man. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you. Yes, and us too, between us, you know? Guys, I promise you, I'm going to hit hard 2026 with all my Spanish, all my knowledge, and the lives that I have been, all the transmissions and the life and the videos that I have thousands of them, of 17 years of knowledge. I'm gonna do it in 2026 in English. So you want to share my YouTube channel with your friends, because starting on 2026, I'm gonna be going live only on YouTube. So this means you cannot have someone else's destiny. You know, ipin. You cannot have someone else's destiny. But you can either maximize your own ipin or waste it through misalignment. When you let, when you permit, when you allow, that's the word, allow. When you allowed to live, when you allowed someone to impose their destiny in your destiny. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. The WhatsApp channel. Guys, we have a WhatsApp channel. We just did 3 or 4 days ago for only English speakers. The the link is on my Facebook page, which is called Centro de Estudios Lucumí. But if you go on updates on your WhatsApp app and you look on the channel, I just joined the other day. Thank you very much, Hijo de Chango. Hey, brother, if you can recommend that channel to your English speakers, to your friends, that'll be, thank you, man. That'll be great. Tada and Doggy, can you write that? Yes, Tada, I'm going to write that right now. So the link is on my Facebook page, which is Centro de Estudios Lucumí. There we go. And just for guys, all the content, all the knowledge that I give, it's brought to you by Botanica Orisha Ade, which is located in Houston, but we do shippings all over the world. We ship, we send you everything all over the world. And it's brought to you by my 7 schools. I had to tell my wife tomorrow, babe, we need to print one of this tomorrow, but in English, that says, how do you say matrículas abiertas? I don't know how you say matrículas abiertas. Subscriptions are open, religious schools, and then it'll be the same, but in English. Blessings, Oshun Laibo. So guys, let's keep on with this. Impori, impori. What does impori means? Impori is the spiritual essence placed by Obatala. A lot of people say Impori Egun. A lot of Babalao says Impori Egun. You have Impori Egun. School registrations are open. Let's put registrations, babe. It sounds more understandable. Subscription, people don't like to hear subscription. When people hear subscription, they're like, oh, what am I not going to subscribe? That sounds a lot, School registration, or, yeah, something like that. Enrollment, yeah, there we go. Yep, that's the word I was looking for. School enrollment. School enrollment, then my website, and then at the bottom, religious classes. School enrollment. So, what does impori means? Man, I'm so nervous about this English life that I haven't even smoked a goddamn cigarette in an hour and 25 minutes. Jesus Christ. My wife is going to want me to do lives every day in English. I have not smoked one cigarette. So you do the school enrollment on WhatsApp? No, dear. The school enrollment, Marisa, it's in my official website, www.davidalagayu.com. So you don't pay no subscription fee. You just pay your monthly, the school that you choose. Like Netflix, you buy the month, you have the the month that you get in Netflix. And if next month you don't want to be on Netflix anymore, you just cancel your subscription. You know, it's just like that. We don't, yes, English every day. We don't charge any subscription fee. You know what I'm saying? But you go into my website and you'll be able to, how do you think about ceremony magic? What days are you there in La Botanica? I'm in the Botanica 7 days a week, hijo de chango. I go to my Botanica every day. I used to go only Saturdays, but now that my baby is already born and you know everything got back to normal, not that it wasn't normal before, but you know my wife was pregnant. I had to take care of her a little more, and the one on Post Oak, yeah, that's my store. Botanica Orisha there, the one is it's 150. You can look us up in Google, guys. Botanica Orisha a day, 159 48 15948 South Post Oak Road, Houston, Texas. Importi, it is an every month payment for what classes you would like to take. Exactly, Jean Chango. Thank you very much, Jean Chango. Man, Jean Chango, then you guys have been a great help. I went the other day to get some material to ask for you. I guess you weren't. Yeah, because I go out sometimes, quick run around and you know, UPS, McDonald's, you know, sometimes to eat something and I come back. But yeah. So Impori. What is Impori, guys? What is Impori? Impori, which is really pronounced Impori. Yes, hijo de chango. You can I'll be there this weekend. Impori. We call it Impori. Reina, I'm here, babe. Oh, thank you, babe. Babe, give a like on YouTube. Go like this. Boop, 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 boop. When you hit the screen a couple of times, boop, boop, that's how you hit a like in YouTube. So, Impori is the divine essence that Obatala places in each human being during creation. It is the spark. Pow! This is Impori. Boom! That's Impori. The spark. Vamos. It's the spark of Olodumare that makes you as a spiritual being. So when a person is like all stupid all day, every day, they need to feed their Impori. But you cannot just feed Impori. You got to know how to feed Impori because Impori is not something visible that you can see. Impori is not something visible that you can see. So Impori contains your fundamental character traits. No, treats is like dog treats. Traits or treats. How do you say trait? Traits. How do you say traits?
Traits.
Oh, trait. Okay, trait. Yes, I know that's how you write it, but the problem is with the spelling, Coco. Spelling. I mean, not spelling. I'm saying pronunciation, not spelling. I know how to spell very good. I read a lot, but the problem is pronunciation, man. That beautiful American English accent that I just thought, I will have. We know where you're going with. Yeah, spelling. I mean, pronunciation. So, Impori, it's your connection with your connection to your lineage, your potential for growth. Impori cannot be destroyed. Impori cannot be destroyed or removed. Impori is eternal. Even after death, your Impori continues existing in the spiritual realm. In Ofumeyi, it says, Impori iniku aralokun kun imporilo, which is the prayer that you're supposed to pray your Godfather, the one that knows it all, supposed to pray when he does or she does a herogation, and they put coconut in here in the how do you say dedo gordo the pies? Because your thumb is this, but I don't know how to say dedo gordo. They're supposed to pray that. Impori enikiku araloku imporilo. It says once Impori does not die, the body dies, but the Impori continues. Big toe. Oh, thank you very much, Alexander. Big toe, big toe, big toe. So empathy will help us connect with Iwa. Iwa, which is character or behavior. You know, Iwa doesn't mean good character. We have 40 types of different Iwas. We have 40 types of different Iwas. Iwas. People say, oh, you need to have Iwa, you don't have Iwa. No, 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 no. Everyone has Iwa. Now, between Iwa, that means character, means behavior, we have 20 different good Iwas and 20 different bad Iwas. So there's Iwarere, Iwasuru, Iwapele, Iwabuku, Iwabuburu, Iwanillo, Iwalekuleku, Iwakukuni. So you know there's different Iwas, you know. So we mentioned we mentioned Iwa briefly before, but let's go deeper into Iwa. What is Iwa? Iwa is the divine energy of character and behavior. It is born from the union of two irumole. IG, IG means consciousness, which is masculine principle, and Ijale, which is Mother Earth, which is feminine principle. Come on, guys, share the life now, because y'all didn't know about this. So you know we can be grateful and appreciateful by just sharing the life, sharing the knowledge, sharing the ashe. I'm transferring you a little piece of my ashe. You can transfer. So the Mother Earth, yes. So the Earth is an irumole. Can you make a video how to use 20 palo sticks? Yes, Marcus. Thank you, Coco. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, dear. So Iwa is the divine energy that is born from the union of two elements. IG, which IG translates to consciousness. IG translates to consciousness. And then Ijale, that translates to Mother Earth. Iwa is what makes you in terms of how you act. Thank you very much, Cookie. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hey, if you guys want to become loyal members of my YouTube channel, by all means, I'll be deeply that will inspire me more to do more lives every day. Iwa is what makes you in terms. It's what makes you in terms of how you act, how you react, how you interact. So you know, there's act, react, interact with the world. Your Iwa is expressed through 5 elements. Juan Meiji speaks about this. Your Iwa manifests throughout your speech, your actions, your reactions, your treatment to others, and your habits and patterns. So Juan Meiji says there's a famous verse that says, Iwaleso eniyan biobadara ayo yeni wani. Any. Says character is the beauty of a person. If it is good, it makes the person admirable. It makes the person admirable. That's why sometimes you see an ugly ass man with a beautiful lady, and then you can see an ugly ass lady with a beautiful man or with a handsome man. Are your books also in English? Yes, dear. So out of my 47 literature that I have published, I have 10 of them available in English. And this life that I'm sharing with you guys is based on one book, on my book called The Power of Ori. Everything that I have spoken in this life, it's on this book, but obviously the book, the wells go into like very deep, deep, deep. Yeah. So yeah, you've been seeing some good looking guys with ugly women, good looking women with ugly guys. But sometimes those ugly people have good character. Now the problem is when you have a bad character and you're ugly as hell. So yeah, you have a big problem in there. You can't afford to be an asshole and be ugly. You just can't afford that. You can't afford to be a bad person and be ugly, because that's not the way life works. It's if you're ugly, you better be a good person. You better have Iwa. Although it's much nicer to be nice looking and have a good character. That's it's much better. But character is the beauty of a person. You know, character is what makes a person likable. And there's another praying, another Adura, another Oriki that says, Orikan oburuni pori iwani kosuwon. It says, no Ori is bad from heaven. It is the character that is faulty. So there's no Ori, you don't choose up in heaven to be a killer, to be an assassin, to hit your mother, to hit a woman, to, I don't know, be gay. Not that being gay is bad, because I have many gay godchildren and I defend that preference of being gay. I believe in freedom. But you don't choose up in heaven to be a bad or a good person. You just choose your destiny. You become a bad person here by your own free will. This is powerful, guys. It means no one is born with a bad head. And that's the reason why I wrote this book, because I got tired of the lies in the religion. Everything has to do, a lot of people, you go here, you go there, or kill a chicken, kill a goat, kill this, we're not going to have no meat to eat in 2050 if we keep killing 50 animals a week, thinking that that's going to bring us our share back. It's good to do in a bowl. Good evening, Marcelino. Blessings, man. It's good to do a bowl, and I'm not saying otherwise. We have to do a bowl, and sometimes doing a bowl entails to make a sacrifice. But we don't do nothing by sacrificing 3 chickens every day and then be a mess the entire week. Doesn't work like that. Everyone has the potential for success. What makes the difference in success is Iwa, character and behavior. That is what's going to define you as a person. I'm glad to see finally you're doing live links. I'm very proud of you. Thank you, Marcelino. That defines you as a person. We need to understand what Ashe Edda means. When you understand what Ashe Edda, people say Ashe Edda, and Ashe Edda is a priest of Orumila. Ashe Edda is no priest of no Orumila. Ashe Edda means the power within the being. Edda means a being. You are a being. There's human being, other types of being. Edda means something or someone that is alive. Ashe Edda is the power within the being. Within the being. Ashe Edda is a spiritual force that exists within every created being. It is the power that makes things happen. When Emi is the breath of Olodumare. When Emi enters the Ara, which is the body, Edda, the spiritual being, is formed. And within that Edda is Ashe. So Ashe is the form of three principal fundamental elements. Emi, which is the breath of Olodumare. Ara, which is the body. And Edda, which is the spiritual being. All this, it's formed by one element that is given to us by the owner of it, Obatala, which is Ashe. So your Ashe Edda, Ashe Edda, Ashe Edda is activated through alignment with an Ori alignment, proper Iwa, spiritual practice, connection with Egbe Orum, with your ancestors, and living according to your destiny. When your Asheda is strong, your words have power. Your prayers are answered. Your intentions manifest, and you attract blessings. When your Asheda is weak, nothing seems to work. Prayers go unanswered. Nothing seems to work. Bad luck follows you all the time. You feel powerless. And in addition to this, we got to speak about Odu on Ori alignment. Odu on Ori. You know, let's explore more Odu that speaks directly with Ori. In Obe Ejoko, in Erin the Lagoon, Odu teaches that Ori must be fed before any Orisha can be effective in your life. How can we feed Ori? You don't just feed Ori with a chicken or goat or hen. You feed your Ori. You feed Ori with books, with knowledge, with studying, with character, with action, with motivation, with inspiration. You know, that's where the word motivation comes from. The word motivation comes from two etymological words: a motive and an action. Motive, action, motivation. Un motivo para una acción. Motiva, acción, motivación. So motivation. We need a reason, guys. We need a reason. You can't just go by in life with no purpose, with no reason, with no motive. Because you ain't gonna have no motivation. You ain't gonna have no motivation. You need a motive. My motive is my family, it's my kids, it's my wife, and it's the thirst that I have within me for people to find their true destiny. Why? Because I love human beings. I love humans. That's why I teach them. That's why I guide them. And it says, Aki Borisha, ki ama Bori, Oriabiya mo tinsi atilejin fun Orisha. Atilejin miwa. This means one cannot worship Orisha without first worshiping Ori. The Ori of motherhood is the support of the Orisha. What does this mean? It means that before seeking external spiritual help, we must first honor and align our inner head, because many people run from priest to priest, from ceremony to ceremony, but never address their own Ori. And this is like trying to fill a bucket with hose. You know, you can't fill a bucket of water. You can fill a bucket of water if it has holes. It's called awaken canasta. I love you, my love, my wife. You know, practical application. Begin each day by acknowledging your Ori. before any prayer to Orisha. First pray to your Ori. You can feed your Ori with a couple of drops of water, fresh water. You can feed your Ori with an adimu. You can feed your Ori with a gin. You can feed your Ori with honey. Or hell, you can feed your Ori with 21 colonices that I gave my head yesterday. But that's a little over, extreme. I haven't had fed my Ori with blood in a while, so I gave Obi to Ogun, and I fed Ogun a couple of animals that I'm not going to mention on a live because some people are very sensitive to animals, which is normal. I am too, but I also understand that everybody, everything, everyone has a cycle in life. People say, don't kill an animal, this, and that, don't sacrifice an animal. But hey, when you sacrifice an animal, you're feeding other animals. When you sacrifice an animal, the animal is going to end up in buried or in dirt or I don't know, wherever. But then all the animals are going to be fed from this animal. Some flying birds, pájaros, birds are going to be fed by this animal. Worms are going to be fed by this animal. In spiritual Yoruba spirituality, a cat does not have more value than a worm. You see what I'm saying? A dog don't have more value than an insect because every animal meets its purpose in the cycle. And obviously we have to feed the earth. But when we go to Oshemeji, it speaks powerfully about the relationship between your Ori and success in life. Oshemeji says, Oshemeji Ori pelele ni ayeye ni Ori buburu ni losika ni nasekin merisi omo. It says, a gentle Ori makes life favorable. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce that word, man. That's favorable. Favorable.
Favorable.
Hey, favorable. I guessed the pronunciation before. Yes, it's English today. I guessed the pronunciation before I googled it.
Favorable.
Favorable. You don't gotta say it that slow. I'm not a retard, but thank you for saying slow though.
Favorable. Favorable.
Oh, when you press it the first time, it says it fast, and if you do it a second time, it does it slow. Says it slow.
Favorable.
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 Favorable. Favorable. Very good. Favorable. Favorable. So a gentle Ori makes life favorable. And that's a big ass word for me. I have never said a word that big in my life in English. So a troubled Ori causes us to find no work. Ori ni te babare nuni o kobobore baye konishe ashishe ashishe ni te ore koroboro ishe ni subu. It says, whoever Ori favors will not make mistakes. Whoever Ori rejects, all their work will fail. You know what I'm saying? So success in business, in career, in material life, it's not just about hard work or intelligence. It requires having a favorable Ori. Thank you very much, Coco. Thank you for your support. It means a lot to me. And this does not mean some people are born lucky and others unlucky. It means some people are aligned with the Ori and others are fighting against it. If you constantly fighting with your wife, oh boy, you're gonna be very unaligned with your Ori. It says, Marita, okay, I'm having a little issue. I'm trying to purchase the floss. Purchase the floss. What does the floss means? The spiritual one, and for some reason I am having an issue. Is there any way I can call and pay through the phone? Well, okay, Marisa, I'm guessing you're trying to purchase a school or a book. I'm gonna give you a phone number, Marisa. Okay, you're gonna send a WhatsApp. You can send a WhatsApp now, and they're gonna answer you tomorrow morning. 305-439-4467. That is my office's phone number. It's my office phone number. 305-439-4467. So I have a website, I have my office. When you run into a little bit of a trouble, um, getting a reading, subscribing to a school, or buying a book on the website, you just send a WhatsApp to that number and they'll answer you right about tomorrow. Question: if my ITA states, can I go through IFA? What does that mean? That means don't go to IFA. Question: if my ITA states that I cannot go through IFA, what does that mean? It means that you're not gonna go into IFA. Don't go into IFA because you're gonna mess up your destiny. That you already in heaven did not choose IFA. So this is very important. Very important. And lastly, guys, I want to speak to you about something very important. I want to give you some tips into practical tips guide to align your Ori. Now let's bring all this together with practical steps you can apply immediately. We're going to call this daily Ori practices. Now in here, I have deeper steps, more effective steps. The steps that I'm going to give you here are very good, but the ones on my book and the ones on my school, when you join me at my school, are 10 times better. So in your morning alignment, you're going to take 5 to 10 minutes upon waking, before doing anything else. You're going to sit quietly. Place your hands in your Ori, in your Atari, and you're going to speak to your Ori, and you're going to pray the following prayer. Ori mi mojubao, which means, my Ori, I salute you. Ori mi mojubao, ejeki ojoji dara. Let this day be good. Efi onarere hang me, show me the good path. Edamimbo, I'm sorry. Edamimbo, which means protect me. So you're going to pour cool water over your head, imagining you're cleaning your Ori, and you're going to set your attention for the day in alignment with your purpose. This is the morning. The evening reflection, you're welcome, Marita, by all means. Evening reflection, you're going to take 5 minutes before sleep. You're going to review your day. Review your day before sleep. You're going to acknowledge where you acted in alignment. Acknowledge where you strayed in that acting. Thank you already for guidance and ask for clarity through the dreams. So now, tomorrow I want to give you some secrets. Now, the live tomorrow is going to be in English as well, and I want to give you some secrets tomorrow on how to align your Ori. But before I decide to end the live, tomorrow I'm going to speak to you how to align Eshubako, how to align your Ori. I'm going to do a live tomorrow on my YouTube channel at 9 o'clock. And that
You're doing amazing.
I'm doing amazing?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the truth. Keep it up.
Thank you, babe. So, guys, the universe can be, that's very inspiring that my wife tells me that I'm amazing. The universe can be seen as physical, mental. The universe can be seen as physical, has mental, and has spiritual. Aligning your Ori means aligning your body, mind, and spirit. You thought I was gonna say soul, huh? No, soul doesn't come into this complex. Aligning your body, mind, and spirit with the will of Olodumare. I promise you, if you apply this teaching and the ones that I'm going to give you tomorrow, it will change your life forever. How you see yourself and how you walk your path is the results you're going to get in life. So, my friends, we have converted. Let me see how to pronounce this word. I don't know. Converted. Convert. No, hold up. Converted. Converted.
Convert.
Convert. I'm sorry. You see that why I have to, So we have convert a lot today. We have done a life of 1 hour, 50 minutes. About to go to 2 hours. The full life, it's recorded in my YouTube channel. For those of you on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, keep in mind, starting January, I'm only going to do YouTube lives in YouTube. I'm only going to be available in YouTube and my schools, of course. So we have covered a lot today. We have talked about Orinu, Oriode, Atari, Echupako, the Oduns that guide us towards alignment. And honestly, this is just the beginning. What I have shared with you today is like opening a door. But behind that door, there's an entire full house of wisdom, house of techniques, practical tools that can genuinely transform your life. That's why I wrote The Power of Ori. The Power of Ori, this book, is not just theory. It's not just philosophy. It's a complete guide, step by step, on how to align your Ori, how to understand your destiny, and how to actually live the life you came here to live. Everything we discussed today, it goes much deeper in the book. The odus, the prayers, the daily practices, the psychology, the neuroscience, it's all there organized in a way that you can study it, you can apply it, you can understand it, most of all, and come back to it again and again. I put my heart into this book, decades, years of study, practice, and teaching. My teaching went into every other page. This page, every page of the book. And I believe with everything in me that if you read it and apply it, your life will change forever. It's going to turn of 180 degrees. So if this teaching resonated with you today, if something inside you said, yes, this is what I need, this is my time, I cannot wait anymore, I've been waiting for a while already, and I have seen no results, that's your Ori speaking to you. Listen to it. Go get the book. Get the book. You're going to go to McDonald's a couple of times the rest of the week. You're going to go to Taco Bell. You're going to do your nails. Buy 2, 3 t-shirts. And this you're going to have for the rest of your life. The power of Ori. Learn how to learn and which power you need to apply with the power that you already have. It's inevitable to reach that ashe. The only way you can reach those higher points, the bullet points in your life, it's with your ashe. You cannot conquer nothing. You cannot get nothing in your life without ashe. And there's something else I want to share with you. For those of you who want to go even deeper, who want guidance, a community and structured learning, I invite you to join my schools, one of my schools, 2 or 3 of my schools. Right now, I have the honor of teaching more than 800 students across 30 different countries. We study Santeria, we study Yoruba traditions, we study Palo Mayombe, we study Spiritism, we study Caracol. We're going to the deep wisdom of our African ancestors, which is the root of humanity, Africa. But more than that, we build character, we build spiritual careers, we build alignment, we become better human beings together. In my schools, you will not just learn rituals and ceremonies. You will learn how to be a person of good Iwa. You will learn how to master your mind. You will learn how to walk your path with confidence, clarity, connection with your Ori, your Ebbe Ori. Sometimes our elders are not able to teach us this because maybe they don't have the time, or it's a lot. People have a lot in their plate. But whether you're a complete beginner, whether you're not initiated, or you are someone who's been practicing for years, there's a place for you in these schools. I guarantee you, from the bottom of my heart, the schools are going to change your life. We have the plant Osain Ewe, Osain, the herb schools. We got the Palo Mayombe schools. We got the Caracol, the Lagoon for all you women's, men's and women's. It doesn't matter if you're initiated or if you're not initiated. Everybody should be able to learn the Lagoon because it's a way of life. And we prepare you, whether you're initiated or not initiated. If you're initiated, I will give you a career in less than a year. And if you're not initiated, I will prepare you to have a career so whenever you get initiated. And if you are initiated into Orisha, I have the Cuarto de Santo, secrets of Osha, which is called Cuarto de Santo. The Oba is an encyclopedia. He knows so much. Claudia, thank you. I wouldn't say I know so much, but the little that I know, I share with you guys. And I have seen results in thousands of people. And that satisfies me a lot. The links are in I constantly share the link with you guys. I think most people know my website, www.davidalagayu.com. I'm gonna write it one more time in TikTok. I'm gonna write it in Facebook. Get out of here. I'm gonna write it in Facebook, davidalagayu.com, and I'm gonna write it in Instagram, davidalagayu.com. davidalagayu.com. Let me pin it. Let me pin this. Hold on, guys. Don't leave yet because I'm not done with you guys. So, yeah, this very important. Very, very important. So, what was I going to say? I was going to say something important. Yeah. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being here today, for being patient with my English, for your open hearts and open minds. Remember, your Ori chooses this life for a reason. Your Ori could have chosen another life 50 years ago, 150 years ahead. But you have a purpose in this life. You have a gift that no one else have like you. You have potential for success, for happiness, for peace. All you have to do is align your Ori. I will see you in the next video, and maybe I will see you in the schools tomorrow. And if you decide to get the book, I will see you in my book, because every time you read this book or anytime you read any of my 47th books, leadership published literature. It's me speaking directly with you. It's not Botanica book. It's not Google book. It's not. It's gonna be different of pretty much everything you have seen or heard or read about. That book is gonna be very different. All my literature is gonna be different. So thank you very much. And I want to say something right quick. Uh, it is. It can be a little deceiving. This how did this? Let me see what the right word is. Let me. I'm trying to say a word. I want to say something important. Very important. Say it in Spanish. No, I don't want to say it in Spanish. I don't want to mess up the life. I have I have been I have spoken. I have been speaking for 2 hours in English. That's like a miracle. It has taken a lot from me. It's just difficult, but it is very discouraging. It is very. It's truly discouraging when you realize that you know many of your followers, Spanish followers that you've been supporting for many years, don't support your work in English or in another language. If you really love me, yeah, I understand you might not understand what I'm saying, but it doesn't bother to just come in the live, hit a like, share it to your social medias so other people can see the content, and then you just go to sleep or watch a movie. So, but instead of breaking me, that feeling is going to awake or has awakened something powerful inside me that is going to transform the disappointment into fuel, into drive, into a fire that's going to push me to create even more live stream in English. So sometimes a lack of support becomes the very reason why we rise higher, and that's exactly what I'm choosing to do. This on a YouTube channel that right now, as we speak, has 206,000 subscribers. For me to have 20 people watching the live, that's going to cost dearly my Spanish followers. That's going to cost that from now on, I'm going to be doing a live every day in English. Every day a live in English. I'm going to do now. Until I forget about this. So now they're not going to get David Aggayu in Spanish for a good while. At least for a good week or two. Now it's going to be every single day lives in English, videos in English, photos in English, teachings in English. And hell, if I need to make this an English channel, I will make this channel in English. So now you're going to have to learn English in Barrera if you want to keep learning from David Aggayu. Just because I didn't got your You know, that's what made me in the first place. What made me who I am was telling. I told my madrina. I have said these stories many times. I told my madrina Anita I wanted to be an Oba, and everybody in the room told me there's no way you can be an Oba if you're a dumbass. You're a dumb fuck. You know, that's what they literally. That's what they said. Like I swear to my kids, they told me you're a dumbass. There's no way you're a burro. How the hell are you gonna be an Oba? And that's what pushed me into studying 7, 8 hours. I used to study 10 hours a day when I used to be in Yahoo. I used to read 10 hours a day. That really messed up my mind until, well, I kind of got it down the road. But even now, to this day, that keeps me with the feel, you know. They say I was the dumbest. They say I was the dumbest. And that's who make me who I am. So being the fact that I have 5 people connected, that's going to give me more feel to get out of my comfort zone. And now I want to be good at what I'm doing because I always want to be so good at what I do because I hate to be imperfect. You know, I'm a Virgo though. I'm a thank you, Marce. I am a Virgo. I am a son of Aggayú. I am a son of Osa in my head. So, you know, and I'm going to transform this YouTube channel into 80% of English. I want to be able to reach to the English speaking religious community because I have so much that I can offer them, a lot. I have tons of lives in of Ogun, of Elegba, of Eshu, of Orumila, of Ishfa, of Palo Mayombe, of Spiritism. Well, it's 18 years worth of doing lives, guys. It's about 5,000 lives that I have done. And it's in the early stages, but the English community needs it to. The English community needs it, to be honest. You're a role model to many prophet. You went on a trouble mode. No words. Well, no words. That's sad. But look at you now, fire indeed. Yes, Jen Chango. That's a fact. That's a fact. I'm not even saying something that's not true so you guys can empathize with me. That is a fact. And a lot of people knows this. But yeah, man, it's and I think Dr. David is tired of hearing me saying he needs to do English lives. Yeah, I love the motivation. I love the motivation, Marcelino. You guys are great. Thank you very much for being you. And thank you very much. Thank you guys a lot for allowing me be me. You know, guys on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, follow me, follow my YouTube channel. Let me show you my YouTube channel before I close the live because you guys, I need for you guys to understand that it's starting on January. I'm not going to stream anymore on the rest of my social media platforms. The only way I'm going to be streaming at is in my YouTube channel. And for those of you in TikTok that don't know my YouTube channel, this is my YouTube channel. So that's where you're going to be able to find this entire life that lasted 2 hours and 8 minutes. It's a hell of a life. You're going to love the life. So, you know, my YouTube channel, David Aggayú. Yeah, and when you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit the subscribe button and then you put the campanita on all the little, you know, notifications. So see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. And remember, we will be doing the readings on the year of January. Yes, for those of you that want to get your 2026 first yearly reading with an expert, with someone that have had results on thousands of people, influence on thousands, positive influence, not negative influence on thousands of people, feel free to apartar. How do you say apartar? To just get your reading. I don't know how to say apartar. In my website, which is davidalagayu.com. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone. And I see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock p.m. And remember, Ori. Oh, to book your reading. Oh, thank you very much, Diana. You're great. Thank you very much, Diana. Yeah, you can book your reading in my website, my official website. Reserve, book. I like I like the booking better, to book your reading better. So tomorrow I'm going to give the second part of this, the second part, yeah, I guess the second part of this life. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna give you some tips, some tricks on how to align your Ori. And then after tomorrow, the day after that, I'm gonna do another life and another life and another life and another life. And I have about 5,000 lives to share with you. I just need to get my Spanish lives and turn it into English and hit camera on and share it with you. And eventually on Friday or Saturdays, I'm gonna open cameras for the English speakers so they can join my TikTok, so we can dialogue and have a conversation in English, and I can talk with the religious community, and I think that's gonna be better also. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye. My website www.davidalaaggayú.com with botanical Orisha de with 7 schools with 47 published literature. Blessings. Achacoche.